Thank you for your patience. Grab a drink, sit back, and explore the paranormal with us. Welcome to the Necromancer live show. This stream will begin in time. Thank you for your patience. Grab a drink, sit back, and explore the paranormal with us. Welcome to the Necromancer live show. This stream will begin in time. Thank you for your patience. Grab a drink, sit back, and explore the paranormal with us. Welcome to the Necromancer live show. This stream will begin in time. Thank you for your patience. Grab a drink, sit back, and explore the paranormal with us. Welcome to the Necromancer live show. This stream will begin in time. Thank you for your patience. Grab a drink, sit back, and explore the paranormal with us. Welcome to the Necromancer live show. This stream will begin in time. Thank you for your patience. Grab a drink, sit back, and explore the paranormal with us. Welcome to the Necromancer live show.
As far back as I can remember, I dreamt of a normal life. A life filled with normal things. A life where monsters don't live in closets or under the bed. A life where ghosts aren't real. I just wanted to be normal. But that didn't happen. It wasn't meant to be. Since my early 20s, I've experienced profound paranormal events that would change my life. Extreme poltergeist activity, living amongst those that have departed this earth in ways unimaginable. It has affected my loved ones and children with no end in sight. I could hear things, see things, and feel things not of this world. I asked myself if this was a gift or a curse. With the help of my mother and close friends, I emerged a paranormal investigator. Since 2013, I have been on a relentless journey to learn about the paranormal. I invite you to follow me into the unknown. Welcome to the Necromancer live show.
Hello, and welcome to the Necromancer Live Show. I'm your host, Justin Brown. Thanks for joining us once again. Tonight we will be discussing the paranormal investigation Interface Death had at Hillforest Mansion in Aurora, Indiana. And Missy Vastine is here with me. Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I am good. I am ready for another one. Last week I was sick. Real sick. So sick that I was sneezing and coughing and blowing my nose every 5 seconds.
Not good.
Yeah, I was in no shape to do it. I wanted to. I told everyone I would, and then God smacked me. And here I am now. How are you?
I'm good.
Have you been waiting or doing Derek's, motherly little nursing Derek back to health? What do you want to call that? I don't know.
I guess you could say that.
Have you been doing a lot, or has he been not bad?
I washed one arm, and under one arm, and then I put his deodorant on one arm and pull his pants up and tie his shoes.
I am better now, he thinks. If you guys don't know Derek, I don't know if he cares if I say, does he care?
He doesn't care.
Okay. He had some surgery done. He had some nerves and stuff fixed in his arm and his thumb area. So a little maintenance. But he'll be down for 5-6 weeks and be back to work after that. But he is healing. And Missy is nursing him again. Again. Before we get into the main topic of our show, I know we're still in Mercury retrograde, so I've been reflective. Have you been reflective, Missy? Have you been, reflecting on your 40 odd years of life, trying to do that shadow work, trying to see where you went wrong?
A little bit.
A little bit. Well, I heard a while back that it is actually against all odds that we're sitting here with each other right now talking. Would you like to know what science says the odds of our life, of us being alive?
Sure.
So, I know this may or may not mean anything to you, but we have a 1 in 10 to the 2,685,000 power chance of being here. So, what Google says, as someone put it, the probability is the same as if you handed out 2 million dice, each dice with 1 trillion sides, then rolled those 2 million dice and had them all land on 439,505,270,846. It seems we are damn good at gambling. Sounds crazy, right? It sounds like, if we went through our lives on the daily and had that idea in our head that that the odds of us being here is so small that, what does that mean? Chat, let me know what that means to you, knowing that the chances of us being here, watching this stream, talking right now, is that small. And what does that mean? Because, this is a time to reflect. This is a time to kind of like quantize your life somehow. That's what I do. I try to find new ways for inspiration and drive. What's up, Brainy? I see you there. Thanks for joining. Anybody else we should shout out real quick before we get all philosophical? Got John Ward.
Becky's in the chat. John Ward. Josh Bender. Derek. Becky said it's fate.
Becky, do you actually believe in fate? Because that is a very interesting concept.
The universe has it in our journey to meet and listen and learn from one another.
What I love about statements like that is I like to talk about how the both camps view that statement. So over here, Camp A is we'll say the believers in that concept. What's beautiful about, I think, consciousness, and especially complex consciousness like our own, is we give meaning. We're meaning generators. Okay? There would be no meaning unless we give it meaning. And some would say that, that they would just let that go in one ear and out the other, but not me. Like, I feel like that's a lot of power to give that kind of meaning to something, especially our lives. And what may be, if we look at a beach and we see the wind blow sand across the beach, what's the chance of that happening? Probably about the same of us being here talking to each other. But if you think about it, we could interpret or perceive that as a special moment if we wanted to, because it's our prerogative as humans. We can give that a powerful meaning. Now, Camp B would say it doesn't mean anything. Even though we say it has a meaning, universally it doesn't at all. Which, I'm more leaning towards Camp A. I'm saying, well, who are you to be the authority of what has meaning and what doesn't? I think the deep thinkers out there realize the power and how we give meaning to things. And I feel like if you think about it, all the great things that's happened and all recorded in known history and even beyond, but let's talk about what we know. All the things that we've given meaning to, all the things that we have done, thought of, dreamed, lived, has meaning, and has meaning across the board to people who appreciate history and appreciate others. So my point is that if you struggle in finding meaning or feeling like you're worth something, or you ask yourself, why am I here? Why was I born? What's the sense of all this? Well, you were giving a special opportunity to be here. Out of all the people who could have been born, I mean, just think about it. Women have hundreds and hundreds of eggs that they produce, and that's it. And the males, the sperm production is in the millions. So the chances of that cell reaching the woman's cell and making us is mind-boggling to me. I just think that was a cool way to kind of start off this episode, is to, contemplate on the meaning of, probability. I think it's cool. Anything to...
Becky said, I think every person in our lives is there for a reason, but the choices we make affect that.
That's true. Anything else?
Amy just joined and Troy joined us. So
Okay.
So you're saying everyone is a winner in the beginning?
Whose comment was that?
Josh.
It depends on how you look at it, Josh. I mean, you could see yourself being a winner in the beginning and not now. Others would see you being a winner all the time. Maybe some people would see you not winning in the beginning, but winning now. It's all about perception. And our shared perception of things affect a lot of things. But it has more, my question and my thought behind this, it has more to do with what you perceive it as. Oh, Brandy wrote a book.
Brandy said it's the same as deja vu. It's almost like we see our journey and everything before we are born. And that is the purpose of deja vu. Whenever we see special moments to us, those are the times and moments that we take in, because everything has a message behind it.
What do you think about that, Missy? Do you agree, disagree? Anything to add to that?
Yeah. He's saying we're all fast.
Mm-hmm. Oops. Let me pull that down here.
Where'd you go?
Oh, I'm trying to give yourself a background. I missed this in the setup. I'm being OCD about this. So I'm sorry. Can you repeat what you said?
Derek Schreiner. I don't even remember what I said. Derek Schreiner, you need to stop.
He's saying we're all fast.
Yeah.
What did he means winning the swimming contest up? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So, Brandy, yeah, I think some days I'll wake up and I'll have that sentiment. Like, everything happens for a reason. You know, you need to find ways to interpret things and give them meaning so they have some great purpose so you can kind of elevate your game. So you can kind of get ahead of that spiritual, mysticism that we all feel like we're kind of shrouded in. So you can kind of poke your head up above the clouds and kind of see clearly. I feel like a lot of people go through their life, somewhat mystified, somewhat lost, somewhat confused, maybe, just a little mystified. They need a little guidance. And I feel like the brain finds really cool ways of navigating through confusion and, what I'm trying to say, a little bit of things that seem out of reach or maybe unseen at the time. Very cool.
Amy said, everyone is on their own journey, like Justin Brown said. We have our own perception due to our soul lessons, and when we have check-ins like Brandy Marie, we are on track. And then she said exactly, some people can see more than others, but others don't need to. It depends on their journey in this life.
Also, did you see Krista Browning's message here? It says, hi, I just joined the chat room like a minute ago, and I don't mean no disrespect. Mind you, I am just wondering what this live chat room is about. Again, no disrespect. This show is a paranormal podcast that talks about paranormal topics, New Age spiritual topics, the occult, anything weird and unexplained. We talk about UFOs, Bigfoot, cryptids, all that stuff, ghosts, hauntings, psychic phenomena, all those things. So if you're interested in any of that, you're in the right place. Yeah, so I thought that was a cool way to kick that off. I mean, I even thought about showing a little video to kind of explain it, but I felt like, we don't need that. We'll throw that number up, and I'll repeat it for those who are just joining. Science says that our probability of being born and being alive right now is 1 in 10 to the 2,685,000th power. So what they're saying is the probability is the same as if you handed out 2 million dice. 2 million dice. Each dice with a trillion sides. Okay? And then all those 2 million people rolled those 2 trillion sided dice, and they all landing on 439,505,270,846. All of them have to land on that number. That's crazy.
We have so lost the chat.
How did I do that? Is it my fault?
No, it's Derek Schreiner's fault.
Uh-oh. Derek, don't derail us. Don't derail us, buddy.
Hi, Christy Brown.
Oh, we got Christy. All right, so I got into Hillforest. Of course, mind you, I took the tour, and if you guys don't know, here, I'll bring it up. I'll bring up a picture real quick as I'm talking. It is a historic mansion in Aurora, Indiana, is the city where Derek and Missy live. Okay. See if I can bring up a bigger photo.
Dazed.
So, if you're looking here, it is on 213 5th Street in Aurora, Indiana. Between 1855 and 1891 is when the Gaff family lived there. So it's old. And they love this place and they take really good care of it. I hope you can tell by the photographs here. This place is phenomenal. Let's see here. We can bring up. No, it's not going to do what I wanted to do. Maybe I should have been more prepared here. But anyway. Derek and Missy got me permission for all of us to go in there and do a private investigation of the place. And, we're been talking about the documentary we want to film in Aurora, which encompasses the whole city, all the historical places, and even Derek and Missy's story about the home they live in and all their experiences that they've had. And Hillforest, when I got there initially for the tour, when Derek and Missy took me, it was like it picked me. Like there was a crowd, a sea of people in a stadium, and it was like, you over there, I'm going to let you in. And it wasn't like the whole place. It was like a piece of it. Pieces of it. More than one. Some places I go to, I don't know why. I don't know if anybody knows that you could say that, it just chose you or it was your destiny, yada, yada, yada. But I psychically or intuitively, however you want to say it, I started picking up on things that some would, explain as past events, energies, spirits, what have you. And I connected with a man and a woman who lost a child the most. And it's been bugging me ever since. And that's really what's got me so interested in going back. And once we got there, I immediately went back up there to see if I could reconnect. And it was still very strong. And what happened that night does not happen normally. So, Missy, how should I just give the condensed version?
Yeah.
So, it was getting a little late. Nothing was really happening. I mean, it wasn't the movie Poltergeist or anything, which is what normally is the case when we go places. I'm sure you all could relate to that. And me and Missy and Christy go upstairs, and I'm immediately, connecting with that man again. And there was a woman there. I'm 99.9% sure that was the mother of the child that passed away. Do you remember how old the child was, Missy?
I don't.
Very, very young. Babies cry, like a young baby's cry is what me and Missy hear.
Yeah.
And initially I saw a man sitting on a couch with a gun in his mouth contemplating suicide when I was there for the tour. But this time I heard a woman screaming. I heard a man shouting very angrily. It was almost like a drunken rage. That's what it felt like to me. Like it was a repeated drunken rage state of consciousness that I felt there. Like it wasn't just a one-time thing, that was like how someone lived for a long time. Probably after losing their child, they probably, medicated themselves with alcohol. The male did. And I felt like nothing was happening, but I was feeling it. So we kind of went and had pizza, took a break. And it's at these times where I'm just like, I'm not going to think about like some witty, smart thing to do. I'm just going to do whatever pops into my head random, because it feels like that's the best thing to do at those times. Like, don't listen to what your brain would tell you to do, like what you've learned on Ghost Adventures or Tabs. Don't do anything like that. Just something random. So I was like, okay, Missy, Christy, you go upstairs, the guys downstairs. We're going to sit there and we're going to be quiet and we're going to observe. Derek decided to stay upstairs, which, I didn't have a problem with and it didn't seem like it mattered. So we're sitting there. It's very quiet. Nothing is happening. I stick a REM pod with a shadow detector in the doorway of this bedroom that we were picking up on this. And I walk over to the stairwell at the bottom floor level. And randomly, I just call out hello upstairs, towards the upstairs. This building has a grand staircase. And the REM pod goes off. The REM pod was up there, I don't know, for 15, 20 minutes. Wasn't going off. So it went off as immediately when I said hello. And it stopped. I paused for a moment, see if it was going to go off again. It didn't. So I say hello again. It goes off. It does that at least a half a dozen times. And it stops. I go over and I start knocking on the front door. It's got these big grand front door. I start knocking on it and saying hello again. It does it again, and even more so. It goes off even more. So it does that about half a dozen times. And I'm looking at Josh, and he's filming me while I'm doing this. And I'm looking at him like, dude, that is really, really weird. He's like, yes, that is really weird. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Missy. At this point, what's going through your mind? Why this is happening? Because that REM pod was not going off randomly. It was responding to me. Why was it responding to me? And do you have any feedback on why I even did all that? Like, it was completely random. It felt completely random.
I don't know why you did it, but I kept like Christy said, we heard a child whining, like whimpering, while we were up there. At the same time, we could hear it. I don't know if it was a motherly instinct or what, but, we could hear like a child whimpering.
Mm-hmm.
But when the REM pod was going off, I kept hearing him say, who could that be? Are you expecting someone? I'm not expecting anyone. Who could that be? And they were like pacing the room as to like try and figure out who it was.
That's weird. Because what I find is that I don't believe I'm going to come straight out. Hillforest is not haunted. And my definition of haunted is there is the disturbance at a home or at a location. A disturbance. Something that's unnaturally occurring there. And it involves spirits, earthbound maybe, or inhuman spirits. Something is not right. Hillforest is not that. Hillforest is a library of energy that you can tap into easily because of how it's set up.
Right.
It's like a time capsule of all these different things. They have a room dedicated to the whole Gaff family history, all their family tree. It's like you can go in there and point a finger at a time period, and if you have the ability and know-how, you can manifest it. That's what Hillforest is. And this is what my choosing was that night. I wanted to connect with these people. And it wasn't like and these energies don't really respond like a wakeful consciousness. It's almost like a library of information is kind of like multimedia. You have multiple choice. Like you can only interact with this, this, and this at this time. So you have to choose one. But I don't know what it is, so I'm kind of like I have to intuitively figure out.
Playing a guessing game all night long.
Yeah, it was like I intuitively had to figure out what they would interact with, and I was lucky, like I struck the lotto with it. Rebecca, it's about time I dragged you in here. Yeah, that was weird. Like, I'm going to tell you guys, we use REM pod technology on a lot of our devices all the time. Either they go off randomly because they're being, interfered with by something, either our equipment or something in the area, and we have to end up having to turn it off or disregard it. But there are certain rare times, and it's becoming less rare that we have stuff like this. And I feel like we've tapped into something, Missy. I feel like we've stumbled on to how cracking the code. I don't know. It just feels like it's getting less rare that we get interactions like that. Yeah. I can't wait for you guys to see it. I'm probably going to get the raw stuff of that segment of the investigation edited first and let everyone peer review it. I'll just send it to people that I think would do a good job at it.
Christy said early on that night when we were setting up, I would have multiple sickening symptoms downstairs in certain areas. Rebecca said, I'm so late. We have a location that is similar. It's like you never know who will speak with, and how they will respond.
I feel like in this situation, I 100% wanted to connect with these people, and I feel like I did, but there's no way to 100% know that that's what the outcome was.
Right.
Your feelings and your intuition say yes, but of course we can't, there's no evidence that this even exists, so you can't say that.
Christina said, some spirits are skittish and prefer to interact with either men, women, or kids.
Yeah, that's common sense. I think that makes sense, especially if you're like personifying a ghost or a spirit as one of us. I feel like if someone came in there, maybe they would want to talk to Missy versus me because she's, sweeter and nicer and not, so much of an alpha. And me, I'm in there telling people what to do. Maybe my tone of voice, maybe they don't even, trust me to, do whatever they want to do, however they want to interact or communicate. So,
Eddie, it's called Hillforest Mansion, and it's in Aurora, Indiana.
Yeah, and it's not easy to get into.
Well, now it is.
Well, for others, I would think that it probably wouldn't be easy.
Right.
Missy's related to the chairman of the board. She's the cousin. We found out that night. So that might give us an edge of getting back there. We're going to definitely need to go back there soon. I was going to talk to Derek about when we can go in there and do pickups. I just need to do some B-roll shots of the inside that I can get, and maybe do some interviews with us in there. But yeah, we need to take a couple hours at least to go back and do some pickups. Yeah, you'll hopefully you'll be seeing this part of the investigation soon, Eddie. When I get it edited and everything, I'll send it to you. See what you think of it.
Eddie's at work trying to listen to us, and he's only catching bits and pieces.
I understand. Thanks for trying real hard to watch our show, Eddie. That's pretty awesome. So, other than that, I feel like, yeah, it's not some place that you would go to like a hot spot. I feel like you would have to be able, like if you were psychic or sensitive, and someone like me would be able to get some stuff out of that location. But I feel like I needed everybody in the group, specifically, especially Derek and Missy, for that to happen. For one, they, got us in there. For two, they've already established a connection with the place. So that had to help. But I feel like it was a really good team effort with that, to get that to happen. I don't think I could have just went in there myself and that would have happened. I feel like that was a really good team effort to do that. But I felt like my intuitions were probably pivotal in getting that. I think you guys could have went in there. You and Derek, for example, could have went in there, but you would have had to spend a lot of time maybe and just waited it out.
Christina said, just to call her Chris, it's easier for everyone. Hi, Brandon. Nice of you to join us. She
2 hours.
Wanted to know how far it was from Mindy. And then Derek said, we did find out that we're out of practice and old while investigating.
Yeah, you didn't have to bring that up at all. But he's right. We're out of practice. We're old and we're tired. We got our asses kicked. But it was worth it. It was really cool. That place is, I love it. What's up, Brandon? Thanks for joining, man.
And who knew I could channel on Q?
Yeah, you had, Chrissy told me that you said that I have never asked you to do that. Are you sure about that?
You have never asked me to do that. In fact, you've told me not to do it, but you've never told me to.
I think I've maybe I've asked you without saying it exactly.
Maybe.
I feel like at FCI I alluded to that, and maybe one other place. But I found that surprising. I thought I have before.
No.
But I felt like it was worth a shot. I mean, I felt like it was safe.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it was risky. So that's why I asked.
Well, like I said, I know that you're not going to put me in danger. You know,
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose. So.
I can't promise you.
Right. But you knew there I was 100% safe.
Not 100.
Well, there.
High 90s. High 90s.
I know.
See, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know because, you deal with transients all the time, especially at your house, and, you attract things. So it may be waiting around for you to open yourself up at any given time. Like, you have to think about that.
Becky said, LOL, you are never safe. Eddie said, are we talking about the House of Wells? LMAO. I thought I heard Cleveland.
No. We're not talking about House of Wills. And if you are at House of Wills, do not open yourself up there.
Yeah, no.
Absolutely not.
Chris said, on a few occasions, I felt my father's spirit, once as a child, and another time at my high school graduation.
It is highly possible. Taking a drink of this tea. So, Hillforest will definitely be featured in the documentary. I'm not sure if I'm going to do one full documentary about all the places in Aurora that we're going to highlight, or we're going to do a docu-series and release mini segments. If it's going to be a docu-series, it'll probably be like 35 minutes ish an episode, and it will allow me to play it out more and have way more content and cover everything more thoroughly, but you wouldn't get everything all at once. Or I could just highlight, kind of like we did Hartford City, Indiana, which there's pros and cons. I mean, you get an over 2-hour documentary like you did from Hartford City from us, which is a long time to sit and watch a damn documentary. Becky Young said segments.
She also said I have shiny ball syndrome. Hi, Carmen.
Should I ask her to elaborate? Because I'm lost on that a little bit.
I'm a little lost, but I don't know if I want her to elaborate.
Thanks for posting the website, Arden. Yeah. If you have not visited our website, please do. It's free to look at it, and it costs me a lot of money.
He said I cannot sit still that long.
Shannon says docu-series. I'm kind of leaning towards that.
As in cat balls, LOL.
Oh. Do you use cat balls, Becky? Do you really? If so, why? We need to get some cat balls, which are the play balls that cats are advertised for cat toys. And they light up when they get moved. They have an accelerometer in them. Eddie, we're not going to MadCon. At least I'm not.
We aren't.
I am not. Well, I'm looking at it. About a month back, we were featured on the August-September Midwest cover of American Paranormal Magazine, and I just got mine in the mail. You can get a digital copy, or you can order one. If you want a physical copy with us on the cover, I mean, it's like 3 or 4 pages long. Our story is. If you want one, let me know. I'll find the link to order one and put it in the chat. Let me know.
She said, I mean, I have a hard time focusing, but yes, I have cat balls. Carmen said that used to be Tony's favorite equipment, the LED cat balls.
I know this.
Shiny cat
All too
ball
well.
syndrome is that like midget dick crystal syndrome.
Wait, what?
She said shiny cat ball syndrome. Is that like midget dick crystal syndrome?
Oh my God. See,
What's
the people that are just tuning in are not going to know what that is, and they're going to think you're weird by saying that.
I just read the comment. Arden made it. Darren said, what's the difference between cat balls and anything else that might light up with movement?
The difference is what makes it light up. So cat balls have a little accelerometer in them, and basically it's a little switch that if you move it, the switch will move its position and complete a circuit to light up. And it's called an accelerometer. And it's very cheaply made from China. So there's other things that light up that are as cheap or not as cheap. And it's not always an accelerometer that lights it up. Sometimes it's a theremin circuit like a REM pod. Sometimes it is a shadow detector. Sometimes it's a passive infrared sensor, aka motion sensor. It depends on what you're talking about.
Eddie said they're called ghost nuts.
Oh my God. Yep. That it makes sense that the people who like the show and like us and watch this stuff is like this, because this is the way we are. This is the monster I've created. Chat where, Heath, on Facebook? What happened?
He said, where has the chat went? I think he meant, like, you guys' minds.
Oh,
Because you're
okay.
talk-
Okay,
you're
yeah.
talking about shiny ball syndrome and...
Also, I'm curious. I am streaming on my my personal profile. I'm streaming on the Necromancer Live Show Facebook page as well, with Twitter and YouTube. Let me know if you're watching my personal profile stream or the Necromancer Live Show stream, because I need to know if I should or should not do that. Because, and the reason I ask is because of chat. I don't want people. What's up, Rob? I don't want people to feel like they're seeing the chat on the screen, but they're not seeing it on their actual device. What's up, Rob Hernandez?
I can't see, like, Christy's comments. And I wasn't seeing Christina's at first.
Really?
I see it on the screen.
Okay.
But it's not in
Yeah,
my comment.
because they're on different Facebook streams. There's 2 different Facebook streams.
Yeah.
Personal. Okay. It makes sense, because I was kind of wondering if that was a bad idea. But I wanted people to make sure that they seen the show, and I know not everybody on my personal profile follows the Necromancer Live Show Facebook page. And if you aren't, you should be. Head over there right now and like the page. I'll get the link real fast so you can do that. But thanks for everybody that's tuned in. It's awesome to see you. Do you have any questions, paranormal related, that we could talk about, that you may have? Any stories and experiences? I want to hear them. There's the Facebook page. I think that worked.
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Keith said he can't do Facebook. He's at work.
That's fine. You don't have to do Facebook. You can do whatever you want. Does this make a difference from the Necromancer page? No. I mean, the only difference it's going to make is all the chat that's happening on the Necromancer Live Show Facebook page, you will not see in your chat, but you'll see it on the screen. Because it's all being fed into the stream, because we're streaming on multiple platforms. So let me know if that matters to you. It does not matter to me because I see all the chat. But if you want to see all the people on Facebook in your chat, it may matter to you. Darren's going to be headhunting someone this Saturday at Prospect Place. Is that a fact?
I'm going to Prospect Place this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm not sure when anyone will ever investigate it again, but Crescent Sanatorium and Prison is a bizarre place.
I would love to, but isn't it like shut down? I've heard that it's not accessible.
Well, that's what she said. Well, I'm not sure when anyone will ever investigate it again.
I know she's posted pictures of it, and I'm like, man, that looks cool. It's huge. It's awesome. Is that in where is that in is that in Pennsylvania or Maryland?
Don't know.
I can't even remember.
Limbo, Becky said.
Okay. I went back to Samuel Miller Mansion for a private investigation before I left GA. Got something interesting on my video. Would love your intake. All right, send it to me. Crescent, PA. Okay. I've been taken over by a new group. The old tenants are trying to get it back. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I bet Josh would love to get in there. It's so cool. I'll bring it up real quick for people that has not seen it. It is super cool. Images. All right. Look at this. See, I mean, it is cool. It doesn't remind me of anything. It actually reminds me of a place overseas, like in Ireland or something. Just the architecture does. I've been to quite a few prisons, and this one's unique to me. Really cool place. Hydroponic life. I would totally go. It's a huge property.
I would go in a second.
In a second. Oh, that's looking like Mansfield. OSR.
ISS.
It gives me more OSR vibes. That right there over there.
It was originally built as a tuberculosis sanatorium.
Makes sense because this, to me, screams OSR. But this right here is more of like a pod, open pod area, which you see in the newer facilities. It's probably a mixture of old and new. It's probably been built onto over the years. Yeah.
There are a lot of people in those rooms.
I bet they've been overcrowded many times.
Not so many people in that one.
Arden, that scared the shit out of me. She pledged on Patreon and the notification just boomed my freaking headphones so hard. Thank you very much. Damn. It was like, poof. I was like, ah. Well, I did that because so I don't miss it, to shout them out.
Yeah.
It worked. I was like,
He's laughing at you.
It's like $1.50 well spent. Jesus, that scared the shit out of me. There's a lot of fucking photos of this place on this site. Look at this gym. It's still in really good shape.
Yeah.
That's what I need to do. Hit the gym. I'll only work out in haunted prisons. That's my rule. Yeah, Arden, that freaked me out when you did that. So did you guys hear the notification on the show in the broadcast?
No, a crow popped up on the screen.
Well, Rob was like, what was that? I was wondering if he heard it.
No. We were looking at pictures of Crescent Sanatorium, and all of a sudden a big crow popped up.
Yeah, yeah, it's Arden haunting our stream with birds. Look at this boiler room, dude.
That's...
No way. They got the tunnels. This place has got everything.
They heard it too.
They heard it?
Mm-hmm.
So I might have to turn that down. I don't know why I turned that sound on the alerts for Streamlabs up on high. That was incredibly too loud. My bad.
He said that's awesome.
Wait a minute. This is not Crescent.
No, I don't think it is.
That's everybody knows where that is.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it. What the hell? People know.
Shit. LMAO.
Anyway.
Quiet when we were down them.
I'm still like woke up from that. Craziness. The tunnels were quiet when we were down there. I bet they were. Eastern State. Thanks for I couldn't think of it. I was like, I've seen it a million times. I've never been there.
It sounded like thunder and lightning, he said.
Awesome. All right. So, Carmen, did you let me know if you sent me anything?
Raw. Who was it? Philip Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
He has posted some stuff that he tagged you in that he wanted your opinion on Facebook.
I remember him doing that, but I'm gonna have to find it. He posts quite a bit on here, so okay. Each EV that I capture excites me, even to this day. Conversating with. Okay, that's not it. He's just talking about EVP. I don't know. I'm gonna have to scroll down through here. Is he on in chat?
No, I haven't seen him tonight.
Okay. Well, maybe when he's on, I'll review it.
All right.
But it's easier if they submit it to me while on the show instead of me trying to look for it because.
Yeah.
And if it's not like clipped, like really tight, then I got something here. Okay, capture on my hurricane quarter on the second floor. Okay. Carmen has sent us something. Okay. Make sure I have it blown up here. It's a recording of a monitor. Oh, that's definitely looks like hair or a spider web that's illuminated by a light source of some. Yeah, that's. I'll try to pause it here. And now, let's see if I can move it back to where we can get a better. I probably don't want me to. Okay. So, we have Derek Schreiner. What's up, Derek? All right, so a typical anomaly you see when you have a bright light source and a camera and you're in old buildings. This could happen anywhere. It could happen in your house. It could be as clean as you possibly can get it, and still can happen. But hair, dust bunny, spider webs, what have you, even insects, they'll float around in the air, and when they get right up to your camera lens where the light's super bright, you'll get this. And it looks fuzzy because it's out of focus. And this is what this is most likely, Carmen. See how it kind of looks like a hair or a piece of... Let's see if I can get it right in there. I know it's hard to see. Yeah, this looks like something string-like floating in the air right in front of your camera. And it looks like that because it's lit up by the light, whatever light you're using.
It almost looks like a spider web got air underneath it, and it made it flex.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell exactly what it is, but it's a piece of something floating in the air. That's what I believe it is. But thank you for showing me that. I think those are really good examples of how to give explanations for what that is. And you can also try doing that on your own, like getting a similar setup in a dark room with a similar lighting and throwing stuff in front of the lens to recreate it so you can get examples and analogs of that. Thank you very much for sending that in. I appreciate that. All right, let's see. Chat. Lens Flare, Alan Westmoreland. I have a picture of Jesus Christ and a recording of him also. That is a bold claim, sir. That is a very bold claim.
He also said that he has evidence of anything from rods to aliens to ghosts and demons, heaven and hell.
It better be really good evidence, because so far there has been no irrefutable proof of such things. But I'll have you know that the chances of those things are existing are not impossible. I've met up with some pretty harsh things in the spirit world.
Yeah, Darren said we're being trolled. And Alan said, I have the other side leave messages, interrupt my phone calls, even when as far as to take 2 pictures of a house I have never seen with my cell phone. I have proof.
All right, man. Send it over. We'll take a look at it. Send it to the whatever. If you're watching, you can message my private profile. That's where you're watching the stream, or to the Necromancer page. Whichever stream you're on, you can send it. We'll take a look. If you're not trolling. If you are, we're probably not going to get those pictures of demons.
That, or we'll get pictures of his balls.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not going to show that. But Derek will look at it. He can't wait.
I'll check him out and I'll send him a message.
Jesus. I'll tell you what. That would be hilarious to watch you commentate on someone else's photos of that nature. All right. Okay. Shiny balls. This chat. Look what I've created.
I was going to say, they were talking about shiny balls.
I know. All right. So, Derek, what was your take on Hillforest and the weird... do you think you got it at all on video of it going off?
Yes. I may not have got it full frame. I may have got it full frame. I'm not 100% sure because of where I was filming. I know that I've got at least part of it in frame, especially once it started going off because I switched that direction. So I may have missed the very first hit, but after the very first hit, I kind of panned over and stayed where I was at and just kind of shot that doorway. So I know that I've got
the lights, the doorway being lit up.
The doorway lit up and the audio for sure.
Okay.
My thing is I'm hoping, since I was mic'd up and we had the Q2N in the rooms, plus we had the drop rig in the area, maybe we got some audio to go with it. It would be super cool.
Mm-hmm. Do you find that weird? Like that? It's weird.
Very weird.
I find it weird, and the reason I say it's weird is we spend countless hours and money wandering around the dark in these historic places, sometimes creepy abandoned places, with claims of paranormal activity, and it just years and years go by, and you just don't get that really crazy, correlated responses with the asking or with triggering it somehow. And another thing that makes it weird is that was not pre-planned. Like, I was just shooting from the hip. I was just like throwing things out there to see if it'd stick in the wall.
And I think that it was, when you did that, it was something that used to happen there on probably a regular basis, especially later on. Because, when the family died...
We were just talking about you.
Right? When the family died off and, when the VFW bought it, you had people coming in and out all the time. And, I think a lot of it is they react to something that they're familiar with. So it's not like you can walk in there like a normal location and make them jump through hoops. They're not going to do that. They kind of go through the day-to-day activities that they would have normally done, and they live that through everyday occurrences in the mansion, because they do the historical tours, the tour guides, the docents as they call them. They dress up in period clothing and they walk people through and they tell the stories and they point out things. So they still think that stuff is normal and it's going on. So, with the way that you did that, it
all good.
It struck a note. And when it struck a note with whatever was up there, it decided, hey, I'm going to check out and see what's going on.
Right. So that's got me wanting then to like, hey, dress in period clothes. Let's do like an era cue in there. You need to, get old Clifford's blood boiling with those ideas.
Oh yeah.
Philip, Missy had asked me if I would review some of your audio that you've posted on the show. If you're open to that, can you send me something that's not like long, that we can like a clip of something that we could review here on the show? That would be awesome if you could. Never have I been anywhere quite like my mom's house out of all the places I've been, but I've lived there, so I had lots more time there. It's my number one haunted spot, but I've never investigated with. I can relate. The more time you spend, more time you can experience things. But I bet the gaps in between the activity tend to be long. What's up, Missy? What'd you go do? Bathroom time?
I had to pee, and I had to open his water, so it was a trade-off.
I get more now investigating feelings. I can't see spirits, but they make me feel them. I sent you the picture of Jesus Christ. Oh boy. I am going to see Jesus. Okay.
Hi, Philip.
Okay, here's the first photo. So I'm assuming that he's talking about this anomaly in the bottom left. And then here it is again. Is this cropped from an original photo? If it is, do you mind sending me the original one? It definitely looks like some type of light anomaly, but that's all I can tell from what I'm seeing. I can't tell you what it's from or anything.
The black spot in the corner of my hat.
The black spot? That's what he wants me to look at? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely... What makes you feel like this is Jesus? Let me read here. So this picture of Jesus Christ was taken with the same cell phone that they took two pictures of a house. I never seen the pictures they took were at 7:47 p.m. The picture of Jesus, I believe, is it, because at the time I was making a recording and I was talking about we want water and Jesus is coming down, is where they're like, thank you, Jesus, we got the water. Okay, so that's why you're thinking it was Jesus, because you were asking Jesus to do things. So, Alan, based on what you've shown me, I cannot collaborate with you on the Jesus idea. But since you were there and it happened to you, you would know more than me because I only seen 2 photos. So, thank you for sending them. I mean, I've seen these anomalies in photographs before. Like I said, if you had the original photo, I would love to see that. And the type of camera you used and all so on and so forth. Because I am a professional photographer and filmmaker. I know a lot about cameras. And I could dissect that as much as you would like me to. But yeah, there is a lot of weird things that show up in photos that can be hard to explain. Alrighty. Oh, you blurred out some stuff. Okay. Look like a lit up fingertip to me.
And I can't see well.
I'm just saying that photo is physically impossible to take. That is the original photo, and it was taken on an old flip cell phone. Okay. Well, it's not physically impossible to take because you took it, right? What you're saying is
Okay.
the anomaly in there is impossible to recreate normally. Is that what you're trying to say? What's up, TJ? What is going on? How have you been? And if that is Jesus Christ, he appears in strange ways. That's all I'm going to say. I know a lot of people, they'll see him in the clouds. They'll see his faces appear in the sky a lot. I've seen that online a lot.
He's saying it just showed up. Like no one took it, I think.
Oh, so you didn't try to take the photos, they just showed up on your phone? Did Philip respond about audio, reviewing audio? I didn't see that.
Said, okay, he said, I can do that. Hello, Missy.
Yes. It could just be one clip or as many as you'd like. We got an hour. We have an hour.
He said, yes, I took photos that they took of the house. I never seen, they just showed up on my phone.
Is there a chance that you took them by mistake? It's hard to say. They took the photos, not me. Oh, so, okay, they took the photos. Okay. The people at the other people other than you. Okay, I got you. So they were submitted to you. Yeah, if you can send me the original photos, if that's possible, I can analyze it better than just looking at it on Facebook. I want to look at the metadata and see if the flash fired and all that kind of stuff. And of course, there's a lot that goes into photo analysis too, than just by looking at it on live stream. That doesn't. I wouldn't be able to say I did due diligence by doing that. I need to find a good way to have people submit things.
He said the other side took the photo.
The other side. So something spiritual took the photo.
TJ said, I've been busy. My parents witnessed my door flying open for me while I was trying to walk up the stairs with both hands full. My dad saw it and yelled, "You're haunted! Goodbye!"
Get out of my house.
You want to see the pictures they took also? Yes.
Yeah, send me anything you would like me to take a look at. Anything you want, within reason. I gotta be careful what I ask for, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we'll just wait on Philip to send us some things, and we'll take a look. I know. He posts several things. You could set up an email address specifically for people to send you photos. I could just have them send it to my normal email. That would probably be okay too. But I like the idea. The other just dedicated email would just be the submission. So I see where you're going there. That might be better. That might be better.
Like
have to
set
think
up
about
an
that.
email specifically for Necromancer and
Just for evidence,
yeah,
submission.
evidence.
All right. What's Carmen got here?
Did you see the news reports about the 7-foot alien that landed in the couple's yard in Mexico?
Is that something recent?
Yeah. Like within the last week it's happened.
New Mexico?
I think it was New Mexico. I'm not really sure where it was, but
Let's see here. Las Vegas police. That's Las Vegas is a while back. That was in June.
yeah. I have
I've heard.
Vista Castle on my birthday, and I have pics for you to see and voice acknowledgement also. Send it our way.
I have been to Manresa Castle. I've never heard of that.
Me either.
Let's search that. Manresa Castle Hotel. Oh, that looks cool. Hell yeah. Look at this, Missy.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Is this what you're talking about, Michelle?
Kind of like Biltmore.
Oh, come on with your pop-ups. Is this what you're talking about? I would love to check that out. Shit. Send me all the cool castle-looking places.
Yes, it is freaking awesome.
I would have to concur. It looks awesome.
Yes.
Oops. Let's go back here. Thanks for showing me that. I've never heard of it. Is this supposed to be haunted? A lot of stories about people seeing shit? Let me know. Something like Area 51. Wait, what?
No, we were talking about the alien.
Okay. Yeah, that happened back in June in Las Vegas. That's where I saw.
There have been news reports that an alien spaceship landed in this couple's backyard this week.
Yeah, if you remember, we talked about it in June. Not ringing a bell?
No.
See,
Okay, I just sent you them two photos of two of my Ecto Mist photos.
Ecto Mist. Ladies and gentlemen, Ecto Mist. Okay, here it is. Here's Ecto Mist. Oops. It's good. So, is it not regular mist? What makes it ecto mist? I'm curious what makes it ecto mist. I've never heard of such a thing. I like ectoplasm. I've heard of that.
She said, no, that's the two. He said, no, that's the two photos they took. The darker ones of the house I've never seen. It is paranormal, is what I was saying. Alan is how many?
Okay. So, how open would you be if someone were to tell you that these were absolutely not paranormal? What would you say to them out of curiosity? Like, what if I told you that this photo and this photo right here, there's nothing paranormal in it? What would you tell them? Let me know. Because, what our show is about education and giving our due diligence and explaining photographs that may be mysterious and unexplainable to others, but not to some others. And the people out there that have learned about photography and learned especially the application of applying photography, educated photography knowledge to alleged paranormal photographs is something that we do. Like we use our knowledge to explain what people find unexplainable in photographs. I would say that the X would be impossible, and there looks like an orb at the end of it and other orbs lighting a bolt-looking patch. So I'm looking at the bolt. Okay. It looks like there's this 3-prong thing here. So what happens in low light photography is that if you're using an auto exposure or even a low shutter speed, it causes things to blur. And even if you're using a point and shoot or a handheld camera, you're going to have little micro movements in it, and it's going to cause things to blur. And I'll give you examples of it. But when you shine a bright light in the dark outside, you're going to see condensation in the air. Okay? And that's would explain a lot of the mist that people photograph, especially with a really bright light. And these type of anomalies can be explained by illuminated particles in the air very easily. And I feel like that, you know, when I analyze these, I definitely want to see if the flash fired, you know, so I can rule out if it's light being reflected. Because if these are objects that are illuminating their own light, and you could infer that by proving in the metadata of the photo that the flash didn't fire, or that there was no light source that bright to, you know, reflect that. That you have to become very analytical and very scientific in your approach of it, instead of, you know, saying, oh, there's something that I didn't see with my eyes in the photograph that must be spiritually related. Well, there's things that would give rise to these anomalies that are in the realm of photography, you know, optics, light, so on and so forth. They behave differently than our eyes in a lot of aspects.
Rob said, that's what I love about YouTube. It's all about creative criticism.
I feel like if we don't criticize, if we don't subject the stuff that people submit as paranormal evidence to scrutiny, there's no legitimacy to it. I think if you submitted this to expert photographers, they're going to tell you the same exact thing I'm telling you. That's why I asked, you know, respectfully, how would you react to it? Like, knowing, like, if you, Alan, if you submitted these to the smartest photographer in the world and they told you that they weren't paranormal, would you believe them? And if you wouldn't, ask yourself, why wouldn't you believe it? Because a lot of times on these shows, and I am a victim of this, everyone is a victim of this, our own beliefs and bias get in the way of research because we're human. And the hardest thing to do is to remove our own beliefs and our own desires and our own bias from how we perceive these things. And that is what makes paranormal investigation so difficult and so controversial, is that we're viewing all this stuff through a subjective lens. And to make it objective is so tough. And I applaud anyone who would submit anything to me. Because if you know me, I'm going to try to pick apart everything. Like, you know, once I submit this stuff that we got at Hillforest, I want someone to explain to me why it only went off when I spoke to what would be there, if anything would be there. I found it weird, and when I stopped, it did not go out. I left it up there for, I don't know how long. We'll have to check the cameras. And another thing that happened at Hillforest was a shadow detector went off when it was off. I have not reviewed that yet. But I know it was my shadow detector, but it was off, and Missy confirmed it was off. I remember turning it off, and I asked her to go downstairs and check, and it was off. So I find that weird. Really, really, really weird. Old Rob Hernandez. Me and him are just tortured souls. It is very stressful being a paranormal investigator, isn't it, Rob? It's stressful because in your bones, in your blood, in your heart.
What do you need to know about the shadow detector, Becky?
You know that something's afoot, but then your brain's like, no, don't trust your instincts. Don't listen to that bird. Did she ask about a shadow detector?
He said, I need to know about the shadow detector.
Okay.
Because I have a REM pod, but no shadow detector.
Okay. What's it called? What's his website called? DAS? Oh, what is it?
I want to see it, she said.
All right, well, we'll just go to our website. All of our gear's up there.
Alan said, thank you for your opinion.
Hey, man, thanks for sending it in. We're going to look at what we use. Now, the version... Okay, this is what I use here. It's the 7-in-1 professional model. It has a REM pod, a laser grid, a shadow detector, a thermocouple, a EMF meter. It's got it all in there. It's the Mel 8704R EMT, and that's what I was using, and that's what I was talking about. It's being cut off. Maybe I'll just look this up. No, 8704. Yeah, REMT. SSD. This should be it. Pro Measure. Okay. So Gary Galka sells these. It's the premier model with 7 functions. It's a whopping $330. You can get it from Pro Measure, DAS distribution. I'll send you the link and to your messenger. How about that? How about that?
She said, well, damn, mine just has shiny lights and temp sensors.
Hey, man, you know me. I got to have the best one. I sold my soul for that. Sold my soul for it. It almost cost just as much as that damn Envoy that Missy got. My God. That thing was so high. Hurts.
It was in the car the entire time.
We didn't even bring it out. You should have, man. Why didn't you do it? You didn't care, did you?
He had hard enough time getting everything to work. Everything was overheating, and
one camera was overheating.
His phone overheated. Phone went out.
Oh, his phone overheated too.
The camera wouldn't work. The follow focus on the gimbal wouldn't work. He still doesn't know why it won't work.
I think it might have overheated too.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask him to try to get that out again and see if it'll work, because that sucks.
Yeah. That's why he started the car and turned the air conditioner on, so that the camera would cool off and his phone would cool off.
Derek sent me the link to this, Becky. If you want, this is the link to the whole series line, if you're interested. But these are pretty decent devices, and what I like about them is that they're pretty accurate. I've never had a problem with them malfunctioning. They work as intended, and they're just robust. They'll take a beating, and they will service it if something goes wrong. It's a very reputable company. Gary is a very good electrical engineer. He makes good stuff. So if you want this link, let me know. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, send me that.
Okay. I thought so. I can see Becky now. Honey, I need this stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks, Derek. All right. Yeah, real quick, we will go over the stuff we use. I mean, if my crop doesn't mess it up. So if you go to interfacedeath.net and you go to tech, it'll show the stuff that we use. This is a Zoom Q8 4K modded to full spectrum. We use the Q2 in 4K modded to full spectrum with this rig here. I'm sure if you guys are regular followers, you will notice this. We use this for filming documentaries. You don't need these cameras. We use laser grids. We use these complex setups when we do ITC stuff with spirit boxes, which is like never anymore. We use Zoom recorders. This is a H6 right here. All the product information, specs, and tutorials are all linked here. Okay, so you guys can not only just look at pictures and read these texts, you can go check out tutorials and specs all from our website.
He said, I don't ask, I just buy and explain later where that came from. LOL.
Spoken like a true spoiled ghost hunter. All right, this is our voice phenomena recorder. It uses scientifically calibrated EMF sensors and microphones, data logger, EDI plus, the REM, which we just went over, tri-fields, REM pods, deadlights, highly customized, highly professional and sophisticated lights that Josh Bender makes, and remote control trucks with recorders and lights and cameras when you want to do things remotely. So yeah, all this stuff can be checked out at here. I'll link this in the chat. So
Carmen, you need a deadlight. Talk to Josh Bender.
Carmen needs a deadlight.
Rob Hernandez said, come on, man. You know you also are leaving out your DR60.
Rob said that?
Yeah.
Sure I am. Yeah, that won't be seen. For one, I can't afford to buy a 25-year-old recorder for $2,000. Even if I did think that it was the best recorder in the world, I couldn't afford that. So, it's no and no. Yeah, you don't want to get me started on a rant about that kind of stuff. No.
He's laughing.
Please, people. I watched... Okay, I want to talk about this, okay? When I say this, I'm not calling out or saying anything bad about other people. I watched The House in Between 2 the other night. I wanted to check it out because the guy from Taps was directing it and producing it, and it had Elizabeth St. Booth and that Perry. What's his name? His last name's Perry from Taps. Help me out. You know who I'm talking about. Perry. What's his first name? I can't remember. Anyway.
Dustin?
Yeah, I think that's
Perry?
his name. Yeah, Dustin Perry. So they had him come. They had some kind of scientists come. They had psychics come. It was a pretty decent documentary up until the point they used a garbage recorder for EVP. And I was like, no. No, they didn't. And another thing that I wanted to point out was they used REM pods, but they were using wireless mics. And we found out real quick what wireless mics do the REM pods. They sent them off bigger and shit. And of course, hell, they sit one in the middle room and everybody's mic'd with wireless mics. And it was going off. And I'm like, they had to know that's what was setting it off. But let me know. Excuse me. Let me know if you've seen The House in Between 2. God, I need a cough. My gosh. Sorry, guys. I'm still under the weather a little bit. What I had was pretty nasty. I don't want to get too graphic, but I've been blowing my nose and coughing still. I haven't watched it. It is... I watched it for free on Amazon TV.
Apparently, it was my house because Josh went home with an ear infection and you went home with sinus infection. So,
oh, Josh got sick too?
He had an ear infection.
I don't think it was your house, dude. I really don't. Like I showed in the beginning, me, Josh, Derek, and Missy paid good money to be on the damn cover of this magazine. If you want to know where to get a physical copy, let me know and I'll link it. I I'll just do it anyway. Just so I won't have to keep asking about it. .com.
No, Carmen, he doesn't have the flu or COVID. Dustin has really bad allergies.
I got the vid. I actually don't know what the hell's wrong with me. So if you go to
the vid because none of us have it. So
paranormalzine.com, click on this one. We're in the Midwest USA August-September issue. So if you want to order a magazine, I will post it and you will have it. You can collect it. Put it on your wall. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool, and you get some. It's gotten us a little bit of exposure for people who didn't know who we were. But I thought it was a pretty cool idea to be in a magazine. A keepsake. What do you think, Missy?
Carmel will be at the bash next year.
What do you think, Missy? Is it cool
Yeah.
that we're on a magazine? I don't know.
My mother thought it was the coolest thing ever.
She did?
Yeah.
That's funny. Did you buy her a copy of it?
I bought 2 copies and she wants one, so yeah.
Okay. You should sign it for her. Your little baby. Your little non-blonde baby.
Yeah. You are
Okay.
famous, Carmen said.
I wish. If I was famous, I would milk it. I hate working in a freaking, normal job.
You did not, Derek Schreiner.
What did he say he did?
He said I crop dusted him while he slept.
Did you see that damn reel that I posted in team chat of that guy farting in the fucking tube while his wife was sleeping? That was so wrong. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Though. Thanks, David. Appreciate it.
Becky said I was in a fitness magazine once.
She was. Pics or it didn't happen. Let us see pics. Yes, buy all the equipment, go to every location. That's what you're supposed to do. Especially if you're famous. You'll get invited for free, and you'll get all kinds of different special, treatments. Must be nice. If you could investigate any location for free, what would it be, Missy?
Ella.
Really?
And
Why?
Allegheny.
Why?
Or the original Penhurst. I don't know why.
Huh. I was at the Arnold Classics and just happened to end up in a picture that they published. She's over there eating a Big Mac in a corner while they're filming a fitness. That would happen to me. I'm over there eating a double Whopper with bacon on it. She's the only fat girl in it. I hope you were eating food. At least you'd be happy. Oh, shit.
Yes, she said.
The biggest freaking burger. It's like as big as your head. That would be great. Like 10 ways to get abs, and Becky's over there like, I got your abs. That's hilarious. Oh, what would be mine? I don't even know. I used to say stuff like the catacombs, or like some kind of ancient burial. Yeah, like the pyramid. I don't even know what mine would be. My bucket list place was Gettysburg, but I've not investigated. I mean, I stayed at the KOA and weird crap happened there, but other than that, I've been to Gettysburg.
Sat down on the air mattress with you and everything.
That was so weird. Josh was right. Like, that place is haunted. That was a good call.
Catacombs are scary, like you said.
Oh yeah, dude, that's what made it. That's what would make it great.
Oh,
You would be down there turning out the lights. You probably couldn't turn off the lights down there because they wouldn't let you. But
people get lost and die in there, she said.
that wouldn't be a good way to go.
No.
Nope. Your skeleton would just be one of many of the skeletons down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not at peace because I know you do, Derek Schreiner. I know what your bucket list location is.
He just wants some money. And I don't blame him. Where's my share?
In Indiana, there's a university called Schreiner University. He needs to go there and find the money.
That'd be sick. Dylan. Hey,
What?
guys. So I wanted to ask about the background goat man and about his hand signals. I know it means as above, so below, but don't know the meaning. If you know, can you explain? So, as above, so below. So, in a nutshell, generically speaking, what that phrase means is the heavens and the earth are linked in fate. Okay, there is correlations between what goes on in the heavens and what goes on the earth. Okay, they're deeply connected. Okay, so if you look back in all the mythos of all the gods of Greece and Rome and Samaria and in India, Egypt, they all depict gods who are tied to mortal beings here on earth. They all have their own personifications of different things. The elements. The fate of man is tied to the fate of the gods. So if you do a quick Google search, we'll test. We'll see how well I answer that question. Above, so below. Meaning. The principle embodies the truth that there is always a correspondence between the laws and phenomena of the various planes of being and life. As above, so below is a popular modern paraphrase of the second verse of the Emerald Tablet, which is a cool rabbit hole if you want to go check out what the Emerald Tablet is, as it appears in its most widely divulgent medieval Latin translation. So the Emerald Tablet is an alchemic text that was allegedly inscribed in an emerald tablet with all these crazy alchemy potions and spells and stuff. And it's like the holy grail for the occult, basically. Hopefully I answer your question.
Derek said it's the lyrics from an In This Moment song.
That's where they got it, Derek. You know that.
Yeah.
It is a badass song, though.
Check out the Kabbalah Tree of Life.
The Kabbalah Tree of Life. I've heard of it, but I can't.
Alan just sent you a video. Check out the video I just sent you of a figure following me out of the kitchen. When I walked out and looked close, it lights up the objects on the table when it went by.
Okay.
When you get a chance.
Who asked about the Kabbalah Tree of Life?
Becky said check out the Kabbalah Tree of Life.
Okay, I have seen this, but I haven't read into it like super huge. Here's what Wiki says about it. The Tree of Life is a diagram used in Kabbalah and various other mystical traditions. It usually consists of 10 or 11 nodes symbolizing different archetypes and 22 lines connecting the nodes. The nodes are often arranged into 3 columns to represent that they belong to a common category. Holy Book of Steel. Let's see if I can. It's not going to let me. Let's see what this is.
And then Dylan had another question when you get done.
Go ahead.
He said, thank you. That explanation just confused me. But what you said makes sense. Haha. How come it usually comes up as evil?
Because of the church. anything that does not align with the Abrahamic books in the Bible as, putting things above God's divinity. Okay? Like necromancy, like the occult, like witchcraft, all those things are sinful and blasphemous because God is supposed to be the sole proprietor of such things. And when you go outside of the Lord and this belief, they are dubbed evil, like divinity, any type of divining, tarot card reading, scrying, necromancy, the occult, witchcraft, all those things are seen as evil, but they don't mind stealing all the pagan holidays and beliefs to inject into their own religion. Okay? So if you research such things, the pentagram, the pan, and the Baphomet, and all those types of symbology, they use it when it fits them, but when people want to use it for what it originally represents, it's evil. So it's a lot of hypocrisy is what it is. And the church has made it a mainstream evil thing, especially where pulp culture comes in, right? So it started in plays and theater and in media, which is, the news and what happened when society started really taking root and, with communities with shared information. And now you just see it spread all over the internet and on TV. And it's easy to subject people with these ideas. And that's why. That is why. Let's go to Facebook. See, I think, Alan, that's where he sent me something. I assume he sent it there. Okay. I'm seeing it. Give me a second. What is this? That's loud, bro. Let me turn that down. Alright, he got like a light anomaly. So it's this right here. So what it could be is this bright light coming in through the window. When you're walking in front of it, it could be causing a lens flare. See how it follows you? Like this could be easily perceived as a spirit following you, right? But what to me it looks like a lens flare. And a lens flare is when it, a lot of light enters the lens at a certain angle that causes it to flare the lens. And that's what it looks like to me. Look at it one more time.
He said it was night and no light was coming through the window.
Well, there's light coming through this doorway. Whatever the light source is. See this light here? Really bright light.
But there was no light source, he said.
The light source is right there. That the doorway, whatever the light, that's the source. So when you step in front of the camera, you're changing how the light is entering the lens. Okay, I don't want to get super nerdy and technical, but when you step in front of that light coming through that door, the photons are entering the lens in a different angle, in a different way. And that could be all it would take to flare the lens. Now, this is just an idea. I cannot prove that this is what it is, but it's most likely what it is.
Said he sent EVPs also.
Okay. What's really cool though? Let's look at this a little bit further now. When this light gets to right here, right here, you see lots of light being reflected off of this. There's something that looks like it's plastic or glass there, and it gets really bright. Like there's light reflecting off it. It's not there until this gets here. You see what I'm saying? It's shinier now. And then it goes away as he steps right into the door. So those things you want to look at. And I don't know what that particularly means at the moment. But the only way to see if you noticed it somehow and just walked in front of the camera lens again to see if it happened again. But whatever this is, it's actual light. I can be sure about that because it's shining onto the table and parts on the table. I'm trying to see if I can see any pattern to it. Is there anybody else in chat making comments on this as well?
No.
Okay. Because it kind of just looks like a light beam. It doesn't really. I can't see anything, any pattern in it. But yeah, that's the only thing I can give you for that.
I personally do not see a person. If that opinion matters to anyone.
See if we can get. Okay, this is an orb. I don't know if he sent me an EVP or not. Maybe this is it. So it definitely sounds like human speech. The only thing that I can make out is the word die. I'm not sure about any of the other... what? Oh, this must be replaying over and over. Let me stop that. I'm like, why am I hearing TikTok? So, yeah, it definitely sounds like human speech. Sounds like a woman. I can't tell you if it's a spirit speaking or not, but it definitely sounds like a human voice. I would like to, when we're submitting audio, I love to see video with it because it kind of gives you a lot more information to analyze. Yeah, the video with the light, I really wish we could see more examples of it. Like if you were going in front of it and that didn't happen again, I would find that weird because that would mean that you couldn't repeat it, so there would be a reason to believe that it was anomalous. To me. But, as I say these things, they're just possible explanations. There's no way you could say that's what it is or isn't. Just like you can't prove that it was a spirit following you or not. It's impossible to come to any conclusion just with that. But what you can do, if that's a place that you can go back to, is set that up again to see if you can get that to happen again. That would definitely be worth doing. If you could do that. Definitely do that. Yeah, if you want to, we have a couple minutes left. If you want to keep sending me some, I'll definitely take a look at it. Or you can go to my website or just email me direct at justinbrown@interfacedeath.net. I'll put it in here. That's just my website. I can't put that, so I'll just type it out. Whoops. Justin Brown at death.net. And email me this stuff, and I'll definitely take a look at it. And try to send me as much information about it as you can, so I can do the best job I can analyzing it. All right. Missy.
Yes, dear.
When do you think we can go back to Hillforest for pickups? Just for maybe an hour or two.
Can email Clifford, ask him.
Yep, tell them that all we need is maybe like at the end of one of their shifts is to go in there, take a couple quick shots for the documentary, do some quick interviews, and be gone.
Okay.
Ask for like, what do you think would be too much to ask? I don't know. Would 3 hours be too much to ask, or 2?
2 or 3.
Okay, just say 2 or 3 then. Give Derek a job.
Okay. His one finger typing.
Yeah.
Job.
Give me the stuff. Poor guy. All right, let's see what else Alan has here.
But then we can make it with the travel time, and then we could investigate calls that night, or we could do whatever.
So, Alan, can I ask you how you're acquiring these? Is it like you're sitting a recording down and leaving it? Is it during like sessions where you're asking questions and leaving gaps of silence, and these are anonymously there in the gaps of silence? I mean, give me some more info on that if you could. These second things where there's more yelling sounds like human speech, but the ones in the beginning did not sound coherent or like human speech to me. Which doesn't mean that it's not paranormal, but it definitely means that I can't understand what it's saying. But let me know how, from what these are clipped from. Sounds like it. I don't think it's a DR60, but I guess it could be. I tell you what, only rich people have those things, dude, or insanely lucky people that find them cheap. Those things are crazy.
Or you bought one 20 years ago and you just
still have it.
Lie about it.
I'm surprised I don't have one with all the drawers and junk I hoard over the years.
Truth.
Truth. You don't know. Don't you talk poop
I've
about
been
me.
to your house. I know.
You don't. Shh. Silence.
I talked to your wife. I know.
You don't know anything.
I know about your pen fetish. Don't fuck.
Well, I can't deny that. And it's not just pens.
I know.
People are like, pen fetish? What the?
I got 2 of them years ago for 150 apiece, David Willover said.
David, you need to sell this, dude. You need to sell that crap and put it in a CD.
Christy Brown told us, Derek said.
You need to sell them, bro. You'd have a pretty nice chunk of change sitting there. These things are awful, dude. That'd be like you go to the doctor. There's something wrong with you, and you need surgery. And they'll be like, "Hey, dude, I have this 20-year-old rusty knife that I've never cleaned. Would you like me to use that?"
Oh no.
I don't know. I would think that you would want the best that your money could buy. Now, not everybody can afford, expensive recorders. I get people tell me all the time, why should I spend $100, $200, $300, $500 on a recorder? I'm like, well, if you can't afford it, don't do that, obviously. But if you can, here is why. The noisier and less detail you have on a recording, the more your mind will play tricks on you how you're interpreting it, being, what's being said. Okay? Now the DR60, it's only voice activated, so it only lets you hear things when the decibels get high enough. So you can't cross-check it with anything. And you can't, timestamp when things are being said. It just all runs together. So that's awful. You cannot use that to push the field at all. It just sounds... the worst thing about it is just it sounds so bad. And people will be like, oh, I get clear EVPs on that. There's nothing clear that you can record with it. It's impossible.
Maybe your own voice.
Finance a house with those. Fix your roof. Probably not. Had a lot of actual human toned voice and sentences come through them that sound somewhat like literally talking directly into it. There's definitely a lot of garble, but when you get something, it's crazy. What, David? Why wouldn't you use like a really decent grade prosumer recorder versus a DR60? Like, are you in the camp that there's something special about it that gets voices that aren't supposed to be there? Is that your take on it? I'm curious what your take on that is, because that would be the only explanation to use it if you think there's something special about it. But I don't know, or I can't conceive of anything special about the recorder that it would pick up voices of the dead versus any other recorder. If you could elaborate on it, I want to hear, because I just don't understand. And I want to understand it because, of course, I don't want to be missing something. But I've looked at the schematics. I've looked at the internals of the thing on paper. I haven't actually physically had one. Have one somewhere from when I first went to college. Shannon, don't tease me. If you have an Panasonic RRDR60 and you would let me borrow it so I can test some things, you would be my new best friend.
He's going to take it apart.
No, I'm not good. I don't need to do that. No.
Give it to Justin, and he's going to analyze it. He's going to go through it.
Well, if I'm going to be critical, of it, I at least need to have some hands-on experience with it.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
David,
have you also looked at Kenny Biddle's review of the DR60? And if you have not, let me know if you want me to send it to you, because I find it very informative and a good review. Like, he did a good job. He always does a good job, but sometimes he does a really, really good job. And that one, I felt like he did a really, really good job. Yeah, if you find that, I'll be happy. So I'll review it, and then when we're done, I want to sell it for you and send you a couple grand, if you don't mind. Because I know you ain't using it. That thing is worth $2,000, Shannon. You believe that? Or more. I don't know. Well, if it goes by fast, that means you're having fun. You can do with it whatever you want. Probably has some thoughts on it when I was writing about RFID and razor blades and GMOs and corn. Don't judge me. Hey, man, someone's got to do the Lord's work, right? Someone does. No, if you have it, I would sell it. It would sell instantly. Like, paranormal investigators go apeshit about it. And they want it. So you can buy your daughter a really nice Christmas present or birthday present with it, for sure. For sure. Anyway, time is elapsed. Missy, I'm going to wrap this baby up. This is Alan. They banned me? How did they get banned? How did you get banned? There's a good example in Haunted Minds FCI episode of what I mean. I forget exactly where it is. It was a reel I posted the other day on my personal page. I have seen his review. I just still think it's worth from recordings that I've personally gotten. So there's no technical or real thing that jumps out. It's just a belief that you have, is what you're saying. Let me know if I'm right or wrong about that. Cleaning out tons of electronics right now. Any others I should look for? No. As far as recorders, that's the one you want. That's one that's going to bring the dime. Yeah. I certainly didn't ban you. I don't know if Facebook did. We all have belief. That's just the best part about the field to me. I find it the worst. To me, not that, you know, I find it troublesome for me because I feel like my beliefs go against me most of the time. But there are times where those beliefs yield interesting results too. I just don't feel that way about recording equipment. But I would love to be wrong. I would love for that thing to be what everyone claims it is and more. And the reason why is because it would mean that, you know, it would be the best thing. But I mean, but you understand my gripe about it not being able to, you know, validly record anything with any kind of usable quality to be held up to scrutiny, right? Like, you understand the problems that it has when, you know, we're trying to record things with extraordinary claims. I just feel like there's a problem there. Alan, there can't be any residual recordings on that because it's a digital recording. Okay? It's not analog recording. But we can't get into that right now. So, with that being said, thank you very much for watching the show. We are going to be changing and doing different things. We're going to be doing more news, reviews. We're going to have guests at least once or twice a month. Not sure. But we're going to be constantly trying to make the show better, production and content-wise. But thank you very much for joining us tonight. If you haven't yet, find us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Lots of content there to check out. I appreciate if you did so. Our Patreon, thank you very much. I'll link our Patreon in the chat here so you can check it out. But this content would definitely not be at the level it is now, and with their continued support, it's getting better each and every time. Thank you very much, Clay Borman, Josh Bender with Deadlight, Heath Edwards, Tony Felosi, Gino Rutledge, Anthony Grothis, and Becky Young, and Arden, who is a new Patreon supporter. Again, thank you, Arden. So you'll see your name up there next week. That's where I'm going to leave it, guys. Thank you very, very much. Again, have a good rest of the week. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next Wednesday, same bat time, same bat channel. Have a good night.